G'day, I'm Tom from Purpose Built Moto. Sitting behind me is our first attempt at a chopper build. This CB900 engine was already put into a chopper frame when we got it, but it was a bit of a mess. We did our best with working with what we had to turn it into something that the owner would be proud to ride. So I'm about to take you through just exactly what we did to get there. A 1982 Honda CB900 is a pretty strange engine to try and build a chopper around. It was a challenge to say the least. This is our first go at a bike of this style, so let me run you through it and then I'll show you how it rides on some nice back roads. The rear on this bike was a real challenge. I wanted to create a seat that looked good and worked well with what I wanted to do, but I also had to accommodate the suspension travel and movement of that rear fender. The design was carved out and wrapped in a black nubuck leather, hiding underneath a small electrics tray for the fuses and black box control module to sit in. Other electrical components have been hidden in a battery box that I fabricated that sits underneath the swing arm and behind the exhaust. The foot pegs have been made using a set of Tarozzi universals mounted to the bottom frame rail, set in a mid-mount position. Having an inline 4 in a chopper frame, I wanted to make sure the thing also performed. The motor was given a once-over and fitted with a set of K-Hin CR carburetors, DNA performance filters, and it screams out of a set of 4x4 straight through pipes. The rear fender and sissy bar setup on this bike was my favourite thing to fabricate. I used a lipped fender and built a low mini sissy bar to follow the contours of the fender, housing the prototype of my Orbit mini brake light. All the bar work on this bike has been brass coated and left raw so that it patinas over time. The bike that rolled into the shop already had a custom frame, using the standard CB900 suspension and some older model Honda wheels. First on my long list was to chop the rear end of the frame off. It had some creative bar work that swept up way too high. That was chopped off and replaced with some simple tube section that mount the rear shocks and nothing more. To finish off creating the base that I wanted to build from, I decided to shorten the swing arm a little and swap the front rim out for a 21 inch while keeping the twin brake setup. I chose to run an early Honda CB750 tank. It holds enough fuel for a decent ride and allows the big 900cc Honda to protrude out the sides, giving the rider a sense of scale on the engine he's sitting on top of. This tank also allowed the speedo to be mounted off the side, in a handmade gauge mount that's been brass plated. For the colour scheme, I wanted something bold that captured the energy of this bike, not really worried about fitting in. I used a variation of the original Honda K2 CB750, simplified the design and used a gold leaf for the accent pieces. That helped to tie in the rest of the brass work throughout the build and probably make a few Honda purists mad at the same time. Other mods on the front include a barwork fork brace, twin 4.5 inch LED headlights mounted vertically, and a custom top triple clamp. The triple clamp holds a set of thinned out Mini 8 bars wearing a set of PBM push button switches and internal clutch and brake cables linked to inverted levers. The cable lever used for the front brake runs to an external master cylinder that's mounted up underneath the tank. I had a lot of fun building this bike, whatever you want to call it. A totally new set of design rules used and a really interesting process for me as a builder. Thanks for taking a minute to learn about my CB900 build. Make sure you subscribe to the Purpose Built Moto channel for all the content that we make on all of our projects. Now let me show you how this thing rides.